Hi, Martha Lewis here from the Complete Sleep Solution. And today I want to talk about sleep aids. So, this is a common question I see about what are the best sleep aids. Now, before I get going, I want to tell you that I'm not going to be talking about sleeping pills or over the counter sleep aids because I don't believe that any of those are good except in the very short term. But that is the topic for another live. So, yeah, today I just want to talk about more supplements and herbs that can help with sleep. Another thing I want to point out though is that these things I'm recommending aren't the solution. So just by taking one of these things, it's not necessarily going to be the thing that fixes your sleep. Because if you've been having sleeping problems for a while, there's probably a lot more going on. But I'll get into each supplement and why this can be helpful and in what situation this can be helpful. So first of all, I do recommend that most of my clients take a high quality multivitamin. And this is because we do need to make sure that we're getting all of the nutrients. And it's really hard unless you have an absolutely perfect diet, which hardly anyone does, especially me, then it's key to make sure that you're getting all these nutrients. Now, I've worked in the supplement industry for a long time, so I do have some very strong opinions about what makes a quality multivitamin. And I like to look for supplements that are food based and don't have a lot of fillers and magnesium stearate and ingredients like that. So I can recommend my favorite multis in the comments if you're interested. But that's just a basic thing that can be helpful for anyone, but especially if you're having sleep to make sure that you're not missing key nutrients. Now, the next supplement I like to recommend is magnesium. And this is because about supposedly 90% of the population is deficient in magnesium. And a lot of that has to do with our soils that our food is grown in are so depleted. And so we're not getting the magnesium that we need as much. So a magnesium supplement can be really helpful because what it does is magnesium helps relax your muscles and calm your nerves. So all of those sound good to get a good night's sleep, right? And I actually prefer a topical magnesium oil or lotion or something like that because a lot of the pills can easily have a laxative effect and you have to figure out your optimal dose, which takes some trial and error. So a magnesium oil, on the other hand, is really easily absorbed. It doesn't have the laxative effect. And so that's why I would recommend that. My favorite brand of that is this Ancient Minerals. They make an oil and a lotion. And another good way to get magnesium into your body is to take Epsom bath soaks. So taking a warm bath at night, another thing that's great for sleep as well, with those Epsom salts that are made of magnesium chloride, those will absorb into your body. So that's a fun way to get magnesium too. So calcium is also key to balancing magnesium and ensuring you sleep. I am really hesitant to recommend calcium to just everyone. We can tend to get what we need from our diet, from leafy greens and dairy products and things. And it's also very important to have K2 as if you take calcium, because K2 is what actually removes the calcium from your bloodstream and puts it into where it's supposed to go, into your bones. So if you don't have that nutrient, and K2 is very hard to get from our diet because it's just found in animal fat during the spring when they're eating fresh green grass. So it is in things like butter and especially butter, I guess. It's also found in a fermented soy product called natto. But otherwise, we don't really get enough of it in our diets, and it's very important to have with the calcium to make sure that the calcium doesn't solidify in your arteries and cause more damage. There's lots of talk about CBD oil, and I think that this can be beneficial to sleep as well, as it helps balance our endocannabinoid system in our body. So that can be helpful. But again, just keep in mind it's not most likely not going to be the thing that fixes your sleep completely. Now, there are certain herbs that you can take, and some of these are lemon balm, valerian, passion flower. All of these herbs help us relax and manage our stress response. And a great way to take them is in a tea at night before bed, or also they're very concentrated in a little tincture. So those can be helpful as well. Valerian can affect your dreams and cause grogginess and nightmares and things like that. So that would be something you have to experiment with. But yeah, those are some herbs that can be helpful for sleep. And another important supplement I like to mention, because this has helped with quite a few of my clients, is tart cherry juice. So tart cherry juice actually has a natural form of melatonin in it. And I don't recommend taking melatonin, which again is the subject of a whole nother talk, but finding it naturally in tart cherry juice can be really helpful. It's only going to help though if your problem is that you're deficient in melatonin. And I would first suggest trying other lifestyle things to encourage production of melatonin, like staying away from screens before bed and managing your cortisol levels, to talk about those briefly. But tart cherry juice, if you're deficient in melatonin, it's worth trying to see if it helps for sure. And one other thing I want to mention that's not necessarily something you take internally, but these are essential oils. And there are more and more studies being done on these oils, especially lavender has actually been shown to increase the amount of deep restorative sleep that people get and to help you fall asleep faster. So literally it's being scientifically verified at this point. But there are others like chamomile and jasmine, and quite a few essential oil companies make some nice sleep blends that have these very relaxing, stress relieving scents in them. And some ways you can use them are you could have them in a diffuser in your room. You could spray it on your pillow. Or if your partner doesn't like the smell of these things, then it's something you could easily put in a roll-on with some carrier oil and roll on your feet at night. So those are just some very natural ways to help you sleep, and some of the supplements to also correct any deficiencies you may have. Now, of course, I recommend working with someone, talking to your doctor or practitioner before using these supplements, and keeping in mind that they aren't going to solve your problem entirely, but if you're deficient in magnesium, if you're deficient in calcium, if you're deficient in melatonin, then it can help to supplement with these things. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.